friends, just wanted to show you something that I got in the mail the other day. It's one of my favorite things ever. So I canceled some other subscriptions specifically to get this subscription box. So this is my Lamplighter Ministries box. I don't know if you're familiar with them or not, but they are a ministry that publishes books from the 17th, 18th, and 19th century, and they print and bind them on their own campus. They are beautiful heirloom books. The subscription saves me some money. This is not sponsored, by the way. I have 4 subscribers at this point, so this is not sponsored in any way. I just love their books so much, and I want to tell you why. And I haven't opened it yet because that's one of my favorite things of the month, is that I get to take my pocket knife that I got on my birthday a few years ago, and I get to slice through this beautiful tape. It's so well packaged and so safe when it gets to me. I'm so thankful. But the subscription that I do is I do 1 book a month, like 1 physical book a month, and all of their books are hardcover, and they're all different types of like binding and things. I don't know if that's depending on their original binding or anything. It always comes with some little different things inside. Sorry, I have one of these and I will show it to you in a minute. But it always comes wrapped up like this, which is beautiful. And I always save boxes because I have somebody at where I work that uses them because they're the perfect size for what she needs them for. So this one is 12 deep. I'm super excited. So one of the coolest things about this subscription is that I can make a book queue on their website, on my account, to list all of the books that I want. And when I tell you, this took a long time for me because I got a catalog in the mail, and I went through and decided which books I wanted, and dog-eared pages of the catalog and marked them and stuff, and used filters on their website to filter down topics and genres and age ranges and stuff that I wanted to read for, and then put everything in the queue. And so every couple of months I'll go in there and I'll kind of move stuff around, because sometimes stuff goes out of stock and it'll have that book will have a little line through it, and I'll just move it down and then move something else up. So this is very cool. They do this for a lot of different ages. I typically get the like adult level, like more so romance or mystery or something like that, than I do the kids books. But their kids books look amazing. So this one is Dwell Deep, and it's by Amy Lefevre. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce her name, but she is my absolute favorite. I've already read 4 of her books in the past year or so. Well, yeah, 10 months to a year. So I'm very excited to have another one of hers to dig into. And then I also have Dear Olive that I haven't read yet. And I'll show you those in a second. But these, so their Lamplighter's mission, and it says with their little thing right here, so it says building Christ-like character 1 story at a time. So they not only publish these books from the 17th, 18th, and 19th centuries, they also do audio dramas of them that you can get. I think you can get CDs, I'm not sure. I know you can get like downloads of them, and I believe you can also get ebooks, potentially. But so my reading tastes are very run a lot on the classical side. I just really love classical books, classical authors, and I really enjoy like Anne of Green Gables series by Ellen Montgomery, and I really loved Little Women, and I really love the Jane Austen books I've read, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Charlotte, right? I'm pretty sure Charlotte's the one that wrote that one. And then I read North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell last year and loved it. I can't wait to read more of her books. But I really love classic literature. I like the depth that's in it. I like the just historical settings of it. I love, like, one of the things in North and South that I didn't anticipate was there was such a strong, like, Christian center to Margaret Hale, and also in Jane Eyre, same thing for Jane Eyre. And those are books that when I got finished with them, I just kind of thought, I don't really know what else to read. And so I really like Christian fiction a lot. I do read a little bit outside of that, some more popular books that are, I don't really read a whole lot of contemporary. I read mostly historical fiction, a little bit of fantasy, but not much. I read a lot of indie publishers and authors. And so one of the things I've really loved about these books and finding these books, which I found through Reformation Heritage slightly and through Reformation Network or RefNet, they used to play, when I was in college, they would play bits and pieces of the audio dramas for these books. And I never got to catch any of it like from the beginning to end, but I thought it was so interesting. And then I saw some of their books on Reformation Heritage's website. So I buy books from them sometimes, and then they were always out of stock or very low on stock, or they would just have one or two. And so I finally went to their website and saw just the wealth of what they offer. And the very first one that I read was Chateau by the Lake by Amy Lefebvre, and I loved it so much. I really want to do some reviews for y'all. And one of the things that I actually got from them that they just did recently that is going to help me do that. I'm so excited. Is they made a reading journal specifically for their books, which I love. And so I've been able to go ahead and kind of fill in some stuff. So it has a reading log, to be read, book reviews, books borrowed and lent, and my Lamplighter library. So it's got plenty of room to grow and everything. So I've written down all the ones that I've read so far. And then I've written down the ones that I already have that I want to read. And I'm just really excited to use this because I haven't done it yet. I'm hoping to get started on this, but I can write out my thoughts of it, a summary and themes and scripture references and reflections and quotes and stuff. Because one thing too is I use my Kindle a lot for books that are not the Lamplighter books, and it's so easy to highlight stuff and to go back to it later or to share it on Goodreads or whatever it is. And there have been so many times when I was reading those books that I just read exactly what I needed to read at that point in time. They've been very encouraging, and I just wish that I had had something to write it down in, and I've got tons of notebooks, so I could have done that. But when I saw that they were making these, I was like, I have to get one. And of course I have to get green. If you can see, my curtains are green. There's a lot of green. But yeah, so that is my reading journal. So hopefully I can make some book reviews for y'all soon. They may be shorts. or I may do more long form like this. I'm not sure, but I'm going to put this one down. So this is the one that I'm going to be reading next. And so it is a different author. This is Mrs. O.F. Walton. I believe that's a different author. I want to say I saw somewhere that Amy Leffer also had a pen name, but I'm probably wrong. So I'm sure this is a different author. I'll let you know when I do a review of it. But I haven't gotten started yet. But one thing that I really love about it is that there's always a preface, and that includes, like, these are the things that we really love about this book. It may use a little disclaimer about just things that are happening in the book that, like this one, for instance, says, you may notice in this story that cousins are interested in marrying each other. Such relationships were more common and socially accepted in certain cultures during the 1800s, and they are included here solely to reflect the historical context of the period. Lamplighter does not promote or endorse cousin marriages or similar practices today, and these elements are presented only as part of the historical narrative. And I know these are, or I feel like, these are typically read more by people a lot younger than me, and maybe by people who have not read Jane Austen or something, like Mansfield Park, who may not realize that. So I appreciate the disclaimers in certain books. There are also, I just happened to turn one. Whenever there's scripture used on the page, they put the reference, which is beautiful. There's a lot of Christian fiction that does not do that. There are also, and I'm seeing a lot of scripture in this one. That's really exciting. There's also, so sometimes in the footnotes, we'll have a word. I can't find it. We'll have a word that kind of just turns into a vocabulary word, because it's a word from that time period that we just don't use anymore. But anyway, I can't find it on the page. But the bookmark I always use for Lamplighters that my mom gave to me when I was a kid. And I also want you to see that this was 39 cents. I'm not that old, I promise. I am that old, but I'm not that old. So, but anyway, it has the little definition right there, which I think is so beautiful. So I did want to show you the books that I have read and the ones I haven't. The ones that I have read, I wholeheartedly recommend with my whole heart. I will post some reviews, like I said, later. So I put all the ones that I've read to the side. So I have On the Edge of a Moor, Chateau by the Lake, The Artist, The Locked Cupboard, and The Three Weavers. So these two were more specifically, there's romance, but there's also a lot of mystery in those two, which I really liked. And then these two were more so just romance and fiction. There's so much character growth in these. There's so much gospel. They're just beautiful books. And then this one is this one's really cool. I can't wait to tell y'all about this one. This one's kind of almost fairy tale like, and so I really like that one. And then the ones I have not read, which this one is actually not a Lamplighter book. They do publish this one, but I already have a copy of it. I got it at a book resale store for like 40 cents or something, which was great. So I need to read this one. I just haven't done it yet. So I have not read this one yet, although I'm very excited to. So that's Lady Jane Grey, the 9-Day Queen. And this book is from 1553. How incredible is that? And then I have The Making of a Hero by Elizabeth Prentice, who also wrote this one. And then I have Dear Olive. Now I have started reading this one, but I started reading this one before I really knew about Lamplighter's summer reading program. And I decided not to finish it and just to restart it, because I had also honestly kind of forgotten what happened at the beginning, because I was reading other things for other like book clubs and such. So I'm gonna go back and restart that one, potentially if I have time, before the summer reading program's over, so that I can include that one. Which brings me to my next point. Actually, hold on. And not complete without the mouse. So there it is. So they do this really cool summer reading program thing. I'm going to show you one of my empty sheets. They also do like a, I forget what they call it, but they call it like a, I forgot what they call it. It's like an activity kind of thing that you can do an activity on a certain prompt that they send you each week, and then you submit a video or pictures or maybe an essay about that. It's mostly kids that participate in that, which is great. I think that's amazing. But I print out the stuff for it, but then I was like, I'm not gonna have time to do that. I'm barely gonna have time to do the reading, probably. So, print out a ton of these sheets. Excuse me. So this is the Quest for Excellence Reading Points Tracker. So all of these will be due on August 14th, and it started May 28th, May 29th, May 25th. I don't remember. But basically what you do is you read their books, or you'll get an email every week. There's a different theme every week. And you could read books that go along with the theme that they send. And there's all kinds of rules and stuff on their website. But basically what you do is you fill out your name, your email address, you add your age group. So as you can see, their books go all the way from pre-readers to adults. So they have tons and tons and tons of books. And then you write down whether it's an audiobook or a physical copybook. And then you have parents' initials and points. So the cool thing is, you don't just read their books. You also get points if you read the Bible, which I think is amazing. So I have forgotten a lot of things that I needed to write down that I've read. But each chapter is 1 point. Each chapter of the Bible is 1 point. And then I read the Locked Cupboard during the summer reading program so far. And you write down how many pages for that one. I don't know how they count the audiobooks, but I don't have any, so I've just not been worrying about that. But yeah. So you turn them in. I think first and second place maybe gets prizes. I'm not really sure how it works. I'm just excited to try it out and have fun with it. But yeah, hopefully I can start doing some reviews very soon on these books that I've already read, and hopefully I can also just make some unboxing videos like every month. Sounds like that would be fun. So thank you so much for joining me today for my rant and ramble through Lamplighter Ministries, which absolutely was not sponsored. I just decided to talk about this for 20 minutes because I love it so much and I recommend it so much. And they're beautiful books, just inside and out. And I'm so thankful for them. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you will join me next time for whatever rambles I take that time down Forget-Me-Not Lane. So thank you. Have a great day. Bye.